Hello, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well. This is week 3, I think then, week 3 of the winter Seek, Gather and Create challenge that I'm running over on Instagram with Laura, Mel and Tina. This week we asked you to find something orange, a crow, something frayed and something burnt. So, as per usual, don't have a particular plan. I've just gone through my stash and found some objects. So for the something orange, I found this silk leaf, get my words out, and some orange fabric. For something frayed, I found these little pieces of stripy fabric, which I really like. I think they're going to work well with the orange. Now, yesterday I happened to do a drawing class, and we were drawing, sorry, just having a quick slip of my tea. We were drawing crows using drawing ink and sticks, and this was mine. Now, it might be a little big, that's the only thing, but I was thinking of possibly using that. We'll see. I might end up having to either draw a smaller one or find another one, but I quite like it. So that's my crow. And for something burnt, I was looking everywhere for an incense stick. I couldn't find one, but I have got an incense cone. I'm hoping that's going to work the same. So I've got some matches and just an old book page which I'm planning on burning. And to work, I've got a piece of cardboard to act as my substrate today. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. The first thing, let's see if we can get the burning done. Obviously, take care if you're doing this. Let's light our incense cone. There we go, it's lit. Oops. Is that working? Let's hope this works. So I'm just going to put this over the top and burn holes. Just like that. Just burn lots and lots of little holes into my book page. Because you're working with an incense, it works with incense sticks. It doesn't, it's like a slow burn, I suppose, so it doesn't just set the paper ablaze instantly. Oops. So there we go, you can see lots of burnt holes. I'll carry on and fill this page with some holes so that we've got a base to use. Okay, so I've got plenty of burnt holes there, so that's my burnt element that I can use. The next thing I'm going to do is cut out my crow to see if this is going to work for the size that it is. So this is just done on grey mixed media paper with an ink, with just drawing ink, but I used a stick to draw it with to keep it loose and scratchy, and I really love that about crows, that they've got so much character. So I hope that you've or some of you have been joining in with the Seek, Gather and Create challenge. You can make absolutely anything that you like as long as it includes the 4 items. And you can I really like people's different takes on the items. Like I've already seen this week, for example, instead of having something physically burnt, people have been using like burnt sienna or maybe a distress ink that's got, I can't remember the name of it now, a burnt name, like I don't know, my mind's gone blank, but you can kind of think outside of the box. That's my point with it, which I really like, and I love seeing people's different interpretations of the prompts. So the kids are back at school here now, so the house is nice and quiet, and I'm back to being able to get a little bit more done, which is nice. Not that I mean, I do love having them off. I love being able to spend a bit more time with them, but yeah, it means that I've got a little bit more free time. There we go. There's my crow. Oh, he's quite nice cut out, isn't he? So I've got my substrate, and actually, yeah, I think I'm going to use him. I think that's going to work really well. Fabulous. Right. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to get some gesso and give my cardboard a little bit of a base coat. I actually might tear a little bit to expose some of the corrugated card underneath, the sort of stripes, if I can. Sometimes that's a little bit fiddly. Just here and there in the corners like that, just to give us a little bit more interesting. Maybe I'll actually tear a corner to give it a more interesting shape. This is the nice thing about working on a cardboard substrate. It's quite free, because you can kind of tear and mess around with it a little bit. Right. Okay, grab myself a brush, have myself a slurp of tea. Lovely. And let's get a coat of gesso down. There's one more week of this after this one, and then it'll rerun again in the summer, probably August. And you may have seen from some of my posts and things that I am actually heading over to the States in June, so that seems to be creeping up pretty quickly. I'm off to teach at the Consortium Society with Tina Walker and Dee Dee Catron, and I'm so excited. I honestly can't wait. It's a bookmaking retreat, 4 days, and if you fancy joining me there, there is still a few spaces left, so I'll put the details down below. Yeah, it'll be really nice to actually get to be over there and to see some people who I've sort of met over Instagram and spoken to over Instagram but never met in person, so I'm really looking forward to it. Right, let's give that a dry. Okay, let's try. And I've pulled out a few little scraps of pieces that were just lying about on my desk. I've also pulled out a piece of this. This is some tissue paper from Artstack's Tissue Paper Backgrounds. Artstacks are one of our sponsors, so I thought that would be good to use. I'm just going to tear and scrunch that. And I'm going to start with that, adding a bit of collage down. I'm also going to include some of that burnt paper in that as well. So I'm going to grab my matte medium and start laying that down. I thought the tic-tac-toe was quite, quite suited for some reason, the crow. I've got some vague memory of a link between the two, but I can't think what it is. Maybe I'm making that up. Keeping it quite wrinkled as I lay that down. And then there's a few little other thinner bits. I think this is a bit of sewing paper tissue, and this is a bit of tissue paper from Who Gives a Crap toilet paper. Like that. And then, like I say, let's grab some of my burnt holes and start adding them in there as well, here and there. Kind of want them sort of poking off the edge maybe a little. That grey is coming from the charcoal from the burnt paper. A little bit, turn my glue a bit grey. Okay, and shall we attach the... Not yet. Let's dry that. That's how much. See how my crow's looking. Okay, let's dry that and add some colour. Okay, I'm going to use some of my high flow golden acrylic in the quinacridone nickel azo gold. So I'm just going to squirt a little bit of that on. Grab my water spray and just kind of tilt that and let it move about. It's kind of got that rusty colour, which is going to suit the rest of the colours in this. Just dabbing and lifting a little bit off, so we're left with something like that. I'm liking that so far. What else do we want to add to this? Maybe some coffee, which is going to bring a slightly darker brown in. Yep. Let's give that a dry. That's dry. Now I'm thinking of pulling in, so I've got my little frayed pieces there. I'm going to pull a bit of my orange fabric off as well, which will also be orange and frayed. And I'm thinking maybe to kind of have that with the leaf over on this side. Ooh, come on, scissors. It would be nice to use my sewing machine and I really wish I could run this through and put some interesting stitches on. Unfortunately, it's out of order. So instead I'll use my stapler. Okay, does that touch my fabric? Yes. And on this side, maybe I'll put I'll stick some of my little stripy pieces on. Not quite sure how I want to place those. Maybe oops. I'm just going to put my crow on so I can see how it's looking. Okay-ish at the moment. Do I want those over here as well? No, I quite like them on that side. Let's put them over here. Not the frayed pieces. I think I want a little bit of white again, maybe. Let's soften down some of that, brighten it rather than soften it down, brightening the white here and there. Yeah, I'm liking that better. with the white space. Let's give that a try. Okay, so I put white space on. Now I'm going to put some darker in, I think. So I've got a little bit of Indian ink. I think because my crow is black, I need to have a few areas where it's just a bit darker. I'm hoping. We'll see how we go. So we get a bit more contrast between the light and the dark. Yeah, I think so. Okay, drying again. Okay, that's dry, and I also stapled a little bit more of my burnt holes sort of poking out the side. I quite like playing around with coming out the edges of this. Let me see. Shall I pop my crow down now? Let's pop him down, let's glue him down, and then we can whip round him. Hopefully that's enough glue. Just decide on the position of him, maybe there. His feet and tail dangling off the edge a bit. Okay. Now then, grabbing my brush and my gesso, let's see if we can just make him pop a little bit more from the page, or from the cardboard. So I'm kind of muting that so that he pops a little bit more against the background. I'm saying he, maybe it's a female crow, who knows. I've got all my elements. I've got my crow, my frayed, my orange, my, what was the other thing, burnt, something burnt, but it's just missing something, I think. What do we reckon? Let me have a think about it. Okay, so I had a think, and I've actually pulled out a soft pastel in blue, blue being the complementary colour of the orange. I thought that would help the colours kind of pop together a little bit better. So I've put some soft pastel down. I'm just going to activate it with a bit of water just to help move it around a little. I don't want to lose all my white space, but I do think that the blue works well with the orange there. Makes the crow pop out a little as well, I think. Yeah. So I might just grab my pen as well, like a thin black pen, and just put in a few little wisps and things that I was missing, that I had to sort of chop off while I was cutting my crow to make him a little more raggy in places. Like that. What else do I want? Maybe a word. Maybe a word. I'll find a word that suits. Now then, I've been using this book to get some words out called The Crow Haunting, which is perfect, and I've just put on this little piece, and I love this line that says, darkening the sky, filling the air with their rackety cries. So that's perfect. Although it's talking about more than one crow, but hey ho, we'll go with that. It's the perfect description, isn't it? Rackety cry. Okay, so I've got that, and just decide where to put it. Maybe on the leaf. Over here. Darkening the sky. Something like that. Yeah? I'll stick that down. Alright, there we are. I've added the words, and I'm thinking I'm going to leave it there. Yeah. Do I love it? I'm not sure, but I like elements of it. So we'll leave it there and see if I fancy adding to it later on. But there we go. That was week 3. I will see you again for week 4. Take care. Bye.